unboxing, walkthrough and review of the Donner DST-550 Versasonic electric guitar. Before I get to the unboxing, let's take a look at what Donner say about this guitar on their website. Looking at their range of guitars, if I dismiss the travel guitars, this one sits around the centre of their range in terms of price and features. And they describe it as the Donner DST-550 39-inch ST electric guitar, HSS pickup, solid double cut poplar body. Let's just break that down and explain it. And if you've been playing the guitar for a while, don't feel patronised. This is just so that everyone can understand the review. Remember, it is GCH Guitar Academy. Donner DST-550 is just the name they've given to the model of guitar. And a 39-inch guitar is full-sized, so it's suitable for teenagers to adults. ST electric guitar means it's loosely based on a Stratocaster. HSS pickup refers to the 3 pickups on the guitar, and these are what transfer the sound from the strings to the electrics. And H is humbucker and S is single coil. So the pickups on this guitar are a humbucker and 2 single coils. We'll look at these in more detail later in the review. And finally, the solid double cut poplar body refers to the type of body which is solid wood, so it's not hollow. The double cut refers to the shape at the top where it looks like it's got 2 horns. And the poplar is the type of wood. On one of the slides, they've put a new benchmark in entry-level electric guitar. And even though I haven't unboxed the guitar and seen it yet, I'd have to agree with that, because some of the features they're describing on the guitar aren't the sorts of features you'd usually see on an entry-level guitar. But this is a good thing, because if you were buying this as an entry-level guitar, you wouldn't have to replace it for a great many years, if ever. But in another way, they're tying themselves down, because this guitar is suitable for anyone, no matter how long you've been playing. Right, let's get into it. The unboxing. The box it arrived in is the factory box, so it actually tells you it's a Donner DST-550 on the box. Whether that's good or bad, I'll let you decide. I'll speed up parts of the unboxing so it doesn't get too drawn out and too boring. The guitar is single boxed, but it's in its case and the box is reinforced on the inside, and there's some polystyrene protection as well. And there's our first look at the case. I'll take a proper look at that later. But first, let's finish unpacking the guitar so we can take a proper look at that. I'm sorry the sound is missing on the video at this stage. I think I must have a dodgy lead on the camera, because it's okay later in the video. And there's one last layer of protection, because it's in a soft cloth bag, which I'm assuming is there to prevent scratches. And here's the first look at the guitar. I've just got some last little bits of protection to take off so we can take a proper look at it. But already I can tell you it's a kind of ivory creamy colour with a gold scratch plate. It's a really nice combination. Now I'm removing the protective packaging from the strings and the pickup selector switch. These last few bits of packaging, whilst they are essential, they can be really fidgety to get off, so I'll speed this bit up even more. The protective film on the scratch plate and the back plate can get caught underneath the screws and the controls, and that's what's happened here. So I'll show you how to take the volume and tone control off and how to remove it from underneath the screws. The best way to remove the volume and tone knobs is to thread a piece of cloth underneath them, a duster or something like that will do, and then you pull the piece of cloth up with the knob inside. This will help to keep the knob protected and the potentiometer underneath. Before you start, turn the control either right up or right down and take a mental note of where the numbers and the text is so you can fit it back in the same way. Most of the time, if you turn the control right up, the 10 is facing you when you're playing the guitar. If you can't remove all the film from under the nut, don't worry about it, because once you've got the knob back in place, you won't be able to see it anyway. However, if you are a perfectionist, you can loosen the nut off. But it's a lot of faffing about, so I'm not going to do that here. If you have some of the protective film caught under a screw, you have to loosen off or remove the screw, then just get rid of the protective film and put the screw back in place. But it's really important you don't tighten the screw up too much, because the scratch plate and the back plate are really quite brittle, so if you over tighten the screw you could easily crack them. And there you have it. Here's a quick slideshow showing you the whole guitar in detail. Before taking a proper look at the guitar, I'll open the accessories, which are in the pocket on the front of the case. The accessories are an instruction manual, a whammy or tremolo bar, a tool to adjust the truss rod, and 2 Allen keys of different sizes. I'll fit the tremolo bar on straight away. To fit the tremolo bar, you simply push it into the hole in the tremolo unit and tighten up the grub screw using the smaller of the Allen keys. And if you find the tremolo bar won't go into the hole, you'll have to loosen off the grub screw first. The small Allen key can also be used for adjusting the height of each individual saddle, and the large Allen key can be used to adjust the height of the post on either side of the tremolo unit. So there's plenty of scope for adjusting the action. The truss rod tool is used to adjust the truss rod, which is just behind the neck pickup. The instruction manual is in multiple languages, so there's only a few pages for each language. However, in those few pages, there's everything you need to know, right the way down to how to change the strings and how to tune it. I'll put the accessories away back in the case. The case is made of a plasticky canvas type material, which seems reasonably strong, and I'd guess at it being at least partially waterproof. The straps and the handles are made of canvas, and they're really well stitched onto the case itself, so I don't see any problems there. The case has got some padding, but it's not very thick. However, it would protect your guitar from sort of small to medium knocks, and it would really protect it from getting scratched. Right, let's take a proper look at the guitar now. I'll start at the headstock and work my way down. One of the standout features of the guitar, I think, is the roasted maple neck and fingerboard. The neck is one piece through to the headstock, and the shape of the headstock is based on an Ibanez, I'd say. The machine heads, I'd go so far as to say that they're really good. They've got a gearing ratio of 18:1, and they've got a locking mechanism. And the movement is really smooth and flawless, and the finish is really good as well. I definitely wouldn't want to replace these. On the top of the headstock, it's got two butterfly style string retainers, which do their job well. And it's got a really nicely designed decal with the Donner logo on it. The neck not only looks nice, but it feels nice in the hand as well. It's satin finish, and it's fairly thin, and it would be easy to play fast on this neck. The frets are well finished, so there's no sharp edges. However, they do need a bit of a polish. I'm guessing this guitar's been sat around in the warehouse for a while. I really like the off-center fret markers, which really complement the design. The neck is bolted to the body. However, rather than using a neck plate, they've used ferrules, which make it look far more modern. And the body itself, around the heel of the neck, is really heavily sculpted. It looks really good. The body is an ivory colour, and it's really high gloss. And I can't find any flaws or bad finish on it. It's really done well. And the back plate and the scratch plate are both gold, which really works well with the ivory. The finishes and the colours they've chosen for this guitar, I think, really look nice together. So aesthetically, I think it looks great. But obviously, everyone's got different tastes when it comes to this kind of thing. The tremolo system is the more modern 2-point type, and it's a chrome finish, but the saddles are finished in a satin finish. And when I first took it out of the box, I thought it was flat against the body. However, once I've tuned it up, it is a floating system, which means the tremolo bar can go up and down. Now, this is great for more advanced guitarists, but a beginner might find this a bit awkward, as you have to repeat the tuning process 2 or 3 times, because there's a very fine balance between the pressure of the strings and the pressure of the springs on the back of the guitar. However, if you don't like this, you can always tighten up the springs so that the tremolo system doesn't float anymore. And if you do decide to tighten up the springs, there's holes in the back plate giving you easy access to the adjustment screws. On the front of the guitar, there's 3 pickups, 2 single coil pickups and a humbucker, which is basically 2 single coil pickups wired together. And you'll also find a 5-way pickup selector switch, which allows you to select the different pickups or a combination of the pickups. Here's how the pickup selector switch works. The first position selects the bridge pickup or the humbucker. The second position is the bridge pickup and the middle pickup. The third position is just the middle pickup. The fourth position is the middle pickup and the neck pickup. And finally, the fifth position is just the neck pickup. This is really good because each pickup has its own sound. So the 5-way switch gives you a lot of control over the sound the guitar produces. There's also a second switch between the volume and the tone control, and this is a coil tap. And this turns off one of the coils in the humbucker, in effect turning it into a single coil pickup. And this gives you more options with the sound again. So, with the pickup selector switch in position 1 and the coil tap on, it's like having a single coil pickup by the bridge. And with the pickup selector switch in position 2 and the coil tap on, it's like having a single pickup by the bridge and the middle pickup on. The volume and tone controls are connected to the output, so they affect the volume and tone no matter what switches you've got selected. Here's just a really simple test to show you how the switches affect the sound of the guitar. Using the coil tap as well as the pickup selector, you've actually got 7 different choices of sound you can get just using the switches. And the change in the sound caused by the coil tap is quite noticeable. And here's the difference in sound using single notes rather than chords. I'm using a clean sound with just a little bit of reverb and compression so it records more neatly. And this is because I want you to hear the guitar and not the effects. Whilst I've been doing these tests and in between the film tests, I've been playing around with the guitar and it feels really nice, and it's a real pleasure to play it. The spec for the neck given on the website is that it's a C-shaped satin finish bolt-on neck with 22 frets and a 9.5 inch radius. The scale length is 648 millimeters, which is 25.5 inches. And the nut is made of synthetic bone. And all of this seems perfectly correct. The look and feel of the guitar reminds me a lot of an Ibanez, except for the fact that it's got 22 frets rather than 24. Looking back at the website, it says the guitar's got next generation Thunder Forge ceramic pickups. Now, I've never heard of Thunder Forge, so it's obviously one of Donner's own creations. And ceramic is the material the magnet's made of. Personally, I think the guitar sounds really good, but I wanted to see if there is any difference in the magnets as they claim. So I'm just going to test the magnets alongside a DST-550. I can do this using magnetic field viewing film. And you can see here, there's definitely a difference between the magnetic fields, especially on the humbucker. And whilst I was doing this, I also tested the strength of the magnets. And the magnets on the DST-550 are definitely stronger. Again, especially on the humbucker. But I'm not surprised by these results, because the DST-152 has got a far more vintage sound, and the DST-550 is a very modern sound. But to bring this into balance, and for anyone who's not familiar with guitars yet, just because this guitar has a modern sound doesn't mean you can't make it sound vintage. A lot of how a guitar sounds depends on the effects you use, the amp, the speaker, and of course the style of play. To demonstrate that, here's the guitar with a clean finger picking sound. Here's the guitar with a vintage distortion sound. And here's the guitar with a modern lead sound. So as you can see, it's a very flexible guitar, and most people of most standards would be able to get the sound they want out of it. Summary of the whole review. From a construction point of view, this guitar is above average. I can't find any imperfections, and the machine heads and the tremolo system are really nicely engineered. And everything's got a feel of quality, right the way down to the switches having a good solid click. I have to keep reminding myself that this is actually a budget guitar. And something it makes me think is the big boys better watch out. Because if people like Donner keep producing guitars like this, Fender and Gibson are going to have to up their game, especially when you consider how much they charge for their guitars. Something to consider when buying this guitar, especially if you're a beginner, is the fact that all you get really is the guitar and the accessories to set it up. You'll need to buy a separate tuner, an amp, etc. If you're an intermediate or advanced player, you'd see an advantage in this, in that you'll already have an amplifier, or you'll have a good idea what kind of amplifier you want. So you won't be happy with the cheap default amplifier they throw in kits. And this takes me back to something I said at the beginning of this video. On the Donner website, it describes this as an entry-level guitar. But a guitar of this quality and with these features, I'd associate more with an intermediate player. However, if you bought one of these guitars as a beginner, the great thing is you wouldn't have to change it anytime soon. Whatever level you're at, you'd find this guitar nice to play. It's got a really thin neck with a really nice feel to it. The action at the 12th fret is about 1.5mm on the bottom E string and 1.25mm on the top string, which is really low for a guitar straight out of the box. But even if the action was too high or too low, it's easily adjusted with this tremolo system. To bring balance to this review, if I was to criticise anything on this guitar, it's not the guitar, it's the case. The case provided is okay, but it's not the best quality. And if I was taking this guitar out a lot, I'd want to protect it. So I would spend a little extra and get a better case. And this isn't a criticism, but it's more advice. If you're an absolute beginner, I would tighten up the springs on the back of the tremolo system slightly, so the tremolo sits flat against the body. And that's because with the floating tremolo, it makes tuning more difficult, and this could cause problems for an absolute beginner. But if you remember how many winds you've tightened the screws by, you can then loosen them off in a few months' time when you've got the hang of tuning the guitar up. I think that's all I can say really about this guitar, so I'll finish up the review here. If you've enjoyed it, please like the video, and if you're new to the channel, please like, subscribe and hit the bell icon. And if you're looking to learn guitar or you're looking for free guitar lessons, take a look at my YouTube channel where I've got some complete guitar courses in playlists. And you can also see those at www.ebooks4guitar.com. And there you can get the PDF ebooks that go along with the courses completely free. And they include all the tablature and notes you'll need to follow the courses. Thank you very much for watching, and I really hope you'll come back and watch my future videos.